Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by frustration or felt your temper flare over something small, like a snide remark or an unexpected setback? In our hectic, high-stakes world, it's all too common to find ourselves at the mercy of our emotions, from fleeting irritations to deep-seated anger. But what if you could find a steady center amidst this chaos? What if there was a way to maintain your calm no matter what life throws your way? Enter Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers not just wisdom, but practical strategies for sustaining inner peace. Today, we're diving into 7 powerful techniques that draw from the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, who faced their own intense challenges, yet remained composed and purposeful. These strategies aren't just philosophical ideals, they are tools that can revolutionize your approach to everyday challenges. So stay tuned, because each method we explore today could be the key to transforming your emotional landscape and mastering the art of serenity. Secret number 1: embrace what comes. Life has a funny way of throwing us curveballs when we least expect them, doesn't it? It's like you're all set for a sunny day picnic, and suddenly the skies decide to open up. Here's where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism steps in, teaching us to roll with whatever comes our way. You see, Stoicism isn't about resigning ourselves to fate passively. It's about embracing everything with a robust heart. It's about seeing each unexpected twist and turn as an opportunity to practice resilience and deepen our understanding of life. One of the core tenets of Stoicism involves accepting things as they come, not just begrudgingly, but wholeheartedly. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This doesn't mean we have to like everything that happens to us. Instead, it's about acknowledging that these are part of our reality at the moment and choosing to engage with them in a way that aligns with our values and virtues. Now, embracing what comes doesn't imply passivity or a lack of effort to change undesirable circumstances. Rather, it's about recognizing what's within our control and what isn't. The serenity to accept things we cannot change is foundational in Stoic thought. When you start practicing this, you begin to see how liberating it feels not to be constantly at war with reality. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of seething with frustration and letting it ruin your mood, you could turn on your favorite podcast or music. You transform wasted time into an enjoyable or educational moment, and suddenly, the situation seems a lot less dire. This Stoic approach is especially useful in today's world, where the pace of life seems to be constantly accelerating, leaving us feeling as though we're perpetually trying to catch up. By embracing the philosophy of embracing what comes, we learn to navigate life's uncertainties with a more even keel. It's about finding your inner balance and maintaining it, irrespective of the external chaos. You start to operate from a place of inner strength and stability, which not only impacts how you react to situations, but also how you perceive them. Think about the last time something didn't go as planned in your life. Perhaps a job opportunity fell through, or a relationship ended unexpectedly. Such experiences, while undoubtedly painful, also offer rich soil for growth and self-reflection. They test our resilience and push us to question what truly matters. The Stoic practice of embracing what comes equips us with the tools to face these challenges head-on, not with bitterness, but with a hopeful courage that whatever is happening can be turned into something beneficial, if only in terms of personal growth and understanding. So next time life throws something unexpected your way, take a moment to pause and remind yourself of this Stoic secret. It's not about what happens to us, but how we respond to what happens to us that defines our experience of life. With each challenge, ask yourself, How can I embrace this situation with grace? How can this strengthen me? Turning these questions over in your mind will not only help you find peace in the midst of chaos, but also transform potential frustrations into opportunities for enhancing your character and life story. Secret number 2, judge less. Isn't it interesting how quick we are to form opinions about others? We often find ourselves slipping into the role of a judge, assessing others based on a fleeting moment or a shallow observation. It's almost a reflex, isn't it? But here's where Stoicism offers us a valuable reset button on our perspectives. The Stoic philosophy nudges us towards a more compassionate and less judgmental way of viewing the world and the people around us. It's about stepping back and seeing things without the haze of our preconceptions clouding our vision. Stoicism teaches us that every person we meet is facing their own struggles, battles we know nothing about. Just as we wish others to understand our complexities and challenges, Stoicism encourages us to extend the same courtesy to others. It's about recognizing that our snap judgments often don't capture the full story of a person's life. Take, for instance, someone who seems unfriendly or aloof. Instead of labeling them as rude, Stoicism encourages us to consider other possibilities. Maybe they're just shy, or perhaps they had a bad day. This shift in perception not only changes how we feel about others, but also reduces the emotional burden we carry from negative judgments. Moreover, judging less isn't about ignoring what people do. It's about understanding why they do it and responding with empathy rather than condemnation. This is crucial because when we judge less, we open ourselves up to deeper connections and a more profound understanding of the human experience. It's like looking at the world through a wider lens, one that captures more nuances and colors. By withholding quick judgments, we allow ourselves the space to engage more fully with others, which can lead to more meaningful interactions and relationships. Stoicism also points out that when we judge others harshly, we often reflect our insecurities and shortcomings onto them. It's easier to point a finger than to face our vulnerabilities. So, whenever we find ourselves in a rush to judge, it might be helpful to turn the mirror on ourselves and ask, what does this reaction say about me? This self-reflection can lead to personal growth and a greater sense of inner peace. Now consider how liberating it would feel to let go of these judgments. Imagine walking through a crowded street, looking at faces not with criticism, but with curiosity and kindness. This mindset, encouraged by Stoicism, doesn't just benefit those we interact with, it enriches our own lives too. Each person becomes a mystery to explore rather than a target to critique. And as we practice this, we cultivate a more peaceful inner world, one less rattled by the constant noise of judgment. Secret number 3, let go of control. How many times have you found yourself trying to micromanage every little detail of your day, only to end up feeling stressed and overwhelmed when things didn't go exactly as planned? It's a common experience, right? We often cling to the illusion that we can control everything in our lives, but Stoicism introduces a game-changing perspective. It teaches us the wisdom of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot, and it encourages us to focus our energy only on the former. The Stoic philosophers, like Epictetus, believed that peace comes from letting go of our obsession with control. He famously said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." Simple yet profound, this idea helps us understand that our efforts to control everything are not only futile, but also the source of much of our everyday anxiety and frustration. For example, you might be able to control your work ethic and your attitude, but you cannot control the stock market fluctuations or the weather. Recognizing and accepting this can significantly reduce the stress we feel when faced with unforeseen circumstances. Letting go of control doesn't mean we stop caring about outcomes or become passive participants in our own lives. Instead, it's about adopting a more flexible approach to life. When we stop trying to force every detail into place, we open ourselves up to more spontaneity, and paradoxically, we may find that we handle challenges more effectively. This Stoic practice teaches us resilience, allowing us to adapt and thrive in the face of life's uncertainties. It's about making the best use of what's in our power and accepting the rest as it happens. Take, for instance, planning a family outing. You can decide the time, the place, and prepare everything to the best of your ability. However, on the day of the event, a sudden rainstorm could upend everything. A Stoic would say, let go of the frustration and adapt. Perhaps move the picnic indoors and create a memorable day, despite the change in plans. This ability to pivot gracefully without attachment to the original plan is a hallmark of Stoic flexibility. Moreover, when we let go of the need to control everything, we also cultivate a deeper trust in ourselves and others. We learn that not every mishap needs to be avoided or corrected by us. Sometimes, letting things unfold naturally without our interference leads to outcomes we couldn't have planned any better. This isn't about surrendering to fate blindly. It's about acknowledging that we're not the sole authors of our lives, and that sometimes the universe has its own plot twists in store. Embracing this Stoic wisdom can fundamentally transform our interactions with others too. In relationships, for instance, insisting on controlling every aspect can lead to tension and conflict. On the other hand, respecting others' autonomy and embracing the unpredictable elements they bring into our lives can enrich our relationships. It makes for a more harmonious coexistence where not everything needs to be perfect to be wonderful. Secret number 4. Embrace imperfection. Perfection is a tricky concept, isn't it? We often chase this elusive ideal in everything we do, from our careers to our personal lives, striving to create a flawless version of the world around us. But here's a thought. What if we could find greater joy and satisfaction by actually embracing imperfection? This is where Stoicism provides a profound insight, teaching us that the pursuit of perfection is not only futile, but can also be a major source of stress and disappointment. Stoicism, with its practical wisdom, invites us to accept that imperfection is a natural and inevitable part of human existence. The Stoics understood that life is inherently unpredictable and often messy. They believed that by accepting this reality, rather than fighting against it, we can cultivate inner peace and resilience. This doesn't mean lowering our standards or giving up on growth, but rather adjusting our expectations to align more closely with the nature of the world. Consider the relief that comes from acknowledging that not everything is under our control and that mistakes are simply part of the learning process. This shift in mindset can be incredibly freeing. When we let go of the need for everything to go perfectly, we open ourselves up to experiencing life more fully. We become more adaptable, more forgiving of ourselves and others, and better equipped to handle challenges. For example, imagine you're working on a group project that doesn't go as planned due to various missteps along the way. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or whose fault it was, Stoicism teaches us to focus on how we can contribute to solving the problems at hand. By doing so, we not only make the most of a less-than-ideal situation, but also contribute positively without the burden of blame and frustration. Moreover, embracing imperfection allows us to celebrate the unique beauty found in the unexpected. It helps us appreciate the quirky, imperfect aspects of our friends and loved ones, deepening our relationships through a more genuine acceptance of each other. This approach fosters a deeper connection and understanding as we learn to value people for who they are, not for some idealized version we might wish them to be. In the realm of personal growth, accepting imperfection is equally transformative. It encourages us to take risks and try new things, even if we're not fully assured of success. The fear of failure often holds us back from pursuing our dreams, but when we embrace the possibility of imperfection, we give ourselves permission to fail and learn from our mistakes. This is how we grow, not by doing things perfectly on the first try, but by iterating and improving over time. Secret number 5. Take charge of your feelings. Have you ever found yourself feeling upset or irritated, and then realized that your mood had more to do with your reaction than the actual event? It's a common scenario, and one that Stoicism helps us navigate with greater awareness and control. Stoicism teaches that while we can't always control what happens to us, we have the ability to control our reactions. Taking charge of our feelings isn't about suppressing them, but understanding and managing them in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Stoics believe that our emotions follow our judgments. That is, the way we interpret an event determines how we feel about it. For example, if you get caught in a downpour, you might feel miserable if you think, "This is awful." However, if you think, "This is an opportunity to feel like a kid again, running around in the rain," you might actually enjoy the experience. It's the same situation, but your interpretation shapes your emotional response. This Stoic principle empowers us to rethink our initial reactions and choose a perspective that serves us better. This approach is especially useful in interpersonal relationships. When someone says something that might normally upset us, taking a moment to consider why they might have said it, perhaps they're stressed or having a bad day, can change our emotional reaction from one of anger to one of empathy. By choosing our response, we maintain our peace of mind and potentially diffuse a heated situation. Moreover, taking charge of your feelings means acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. It's about saying, "I recognize that I'm feeling angry or upset, but these emotions do not need to control my behavior." This kind of self-awareness is what Stoicism aims to cultivate. It encourages us to pause before reacting, giving us time to choose a response that reflects our rational and moral values, rather than being swept away by immediate emotional impulses. Practicing this Stoic skill involves a bit of reflection. When you feel a strong emotion, take a step back and ask yourself a few questions. Why am I feeling this way? Is there another way to view this situation? What would I advise a friend to feel in this same scenario? Often, just taking the time to evaluate our feelings can lessen their intensity and help us regain control. And remember, control over our emotions doesn't mean ignoring them or pretending everything is okay when it's not. It means managing them constructively, allowing ourselves to feel and express our emotions in ways that do not cause harm to ourselves or others. It's about finding that Stoic balance where our emotions are acknowledged but kept in check by our deeper understanding of life's bigger picture. Secret number 6. Practice non-reaction. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in a heated moment is nothing at all. This might sound counterintuitive, especially in a culture that often encourages us to speak our minds and stand our ground. However, Stoicism offers a different path, the practice of non-reaction. This doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. It's about choosing not to let the heat of the moment dictate our actions. Instead, we hold space for calmness and deliberation, ensuring our responses align with our deeper values and long-term objectives. Stoic philosophy teaches that it's not external events that disturb us, but our responses to them. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea is incredibly liberating. When someone criticizes us harshly, for example, our knee-jerk reaction might be to defend ourselves or retaliate. However, Practicing non-reaction means taking a moment to pause and reflect. Why did they say that? What might be going on in their life to provoke such a reaction? By not reacting immediately, we give ourselves the chance to consider a more compassionate view, or even choose to let the comment go without letting it disrupt our peace. Non-reaction also allows us to maintain control over our own mental state. It prevents us from getting swept up in emotions like anger and frustration, which often only escalate situations unnecessarily. Think about a time when a simple misunderstanding spiraled out of control because both parties kept reacting without pausing to understand the other's point of view. Now imagine if one person had chosen to respond with thoughtful non-reaction, taking time to digest the situation before addressing it calmly. The outcome would likely have been much different. Moreover, practicing non-reaction isn't just about avoiding negative outcomes, it's about creating space for positive growth. It provides an opportunity to observe our habitual reactions and learn about ourselves. Often, our impulses are driven by old patterns or unresolved issues. When we pause instead of reacting, we can start to see these patterns clearly, which is the first step towards changing them. This introspection can lead to profound personal development and a more stoic, balanced approach to life's challenges. Furthermore, non-reaction fosters a type of mental freedom. When you no longer feel compelled to react to every provocation, criticism, or setback, you gain a sense of inner strength and stability. This doesn't mean you won't address issues or stand up for what's right, but you'll do so from a place of calm and clarity, not compulsion or distress. Your actions become deliberate and considered, imbued with a sense of purpose rather than impulsivity. So how do you start practicing non-reaction? Begin by noticing when you feel the urge to react impulsively. Each time this happens, take a deep breath or even step away for a few moments if you can. Use this time to ask yourself whether a reaction is necessary or beneficial. What might be a more thoughtful, measured response? Sometimes, you might choose not to respond at all, and that's perfectly okay. Other times, you might decide on a course of action that addresses the issue respectfully and constructively. Secret number 7. Find joy in giving. Have you ever noticed how good it feels to help someone out? Whether it's something as simple as holding the door for a stranger or as involved as volunteering your time for a cause you care about, there's a kind of joy in giving that just can't be matched by receiving. This isn't just a pleasant coincidence. It's a reflection of a deeper truth that Stoicism has long celebrated, finding fulfillment in contributing to the well-being of others. This Stoic practice not only enriches the lives of those around us, but also profoundly enhances our own. Stoicism teaches the importance of living in accordance with nature, and part of our natural inclination as humans is to be social and cooperative. When we give to others, we align ourselves with this Stoic ideal, reinforcing our connections with the community and fostering a sense of belonging and purpose. For the Stoics, such actions aren't just morally commendable, they're integral to achieving eudaimonia, or a flourishing life. The act of giving, then, becomes a pathway to personal happiness and fulfillment, not because of any external reward we might receive, but because it helps us become the best versions of ourselves. Furthermore, giving allows us to step outside of our own desires and concerns, offering a broader perspective on life. When you focus on the needs and happiness of others, your own problems can seem less overwhelming. This shift in focus is liberating, reducing the kind of self-centered thinking that can lead to dissatisfaction and unrest. Stoic philosophy highlights how our own happiness is found not in amassing goods or seeking pleasure for ourselves, but in contributing positively to the lives of others. This doesn't mean neglecting your needs, but finding a balance where personal satisfaction and altruistic behavior enhance each other. Moreover, the practice of giving cultivates virtues like generosity, kindness, and compassion, which are central to Stoic ethics. Each act of giving is a step toward virtue, the ultimate good in Stoicism. By making giving a regular part of our lives, we train ourselves in these virtues, gradually transforming our character. Over time, this doesn't just make us better at giving, it makes us better people, more attuned to the needs of others, and more adept at responding to those needs effectively and thoughtfully. Practicing generosity also has a way of generating gratitude, both in the giver and the receiver. This reciprocal appreciation can create and strengthen community bonds, building networks of goodwill that extend far beyond individual acts of kindness. In a world that often emphasizes division and competition, such connections are vital. They remind us of our interdependence and the strength that can be found in unity and mutual support. So, how can you incorporate more giving into your life? Start small. Look for daily opportunities to make someone else's day a bit brighter. Maybe it's letting someone go ahead of you in line, offering a sincere compliment, or providing a listening ear. Each small act of kindness is a step toward a more stoic and more joyful way of living. As we wrap up today's journey into the heart of Stoicism, remember that each small step we take towards embracing these practices can lead to profound changes in our lives and the lives of those around us. Thank you for joining me today on Stoic Journal, and for being a part of this community that believes in growth, resilience, and the power of giving. If you found today's insights valuable, don't miss the next video popping up on your screen. It's designed to help you dive even deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism and continue building a life filled with purpose and peace. Thank you for watching and for walking this path towards a more stoic life with us.